morning, everybody. Sorry to interrupt your conversations momentarily. I'm Lori Cullum, the President and CEO of the Andover Area Chamber of Commerce, and I just wanted to welcome you and thank you for being here today. We want to thank Credit Union of America, our presenting sponsor, for making this event possible, and we're thrilled to have each of you with us. If we could give Credit Union of America some applause. So today will be a little bit different. For those of you that have attended in years past, each presenter's come up and given a PowerPoint presentation and all about their area. This year we're going to do a panel presentation. So we are excited. We've had some questions submitted in advance, and there will be time for questions afterwards. But we're going to give you about 10 more minutes to talk to each other, eat your lunch, because we know it's hard to ask questions when you're eating. And we will get started at 11:45. Thank you again for being here. I'd like to introduce you to Bradley Dyer Jr. from Credit Union of America. He's going to take a few minutes.
I think this is still a thing. I don't know if there's a rule or a cutoff, but is Happy New Year? Can we still say that? Okay, I got a lot of nods. So Happy New Year to everybody. Hope everybody's year is off to a great start. As you were told, my name is Bradley Dyer Jr., and I am the Senior Business Development Officer at Credit Union of America. And before we kind of get into the panel discussion here, I'd like to talk to you just a little bit about CUA. So Credit Union of America is a not-for-profit financial cooperative that is member-owned, owned by all of our members. And I know a lot of people, we have a financial institution by the dozens, and so a lot of people will say they offer quality products, but we really do take time out to curate and design the highest quality products and in the friendliest manner possible. Our mantra is welcome to friendly, and so when you see us, you see friendly and you get high quality service. And so that's CUA. We're proud to, this is the third year now that we sponsor this particular event, the State of the Community event here in Andover. We currently have a branch right there by 96th and 21st, and that serves our Andover community. I'm happy to say Hannah here is the branch manager for that branch, and the folks at this table here, it's Credit Union of America representatives. Heather does mortgage lending for us. Kathy is our Business Development Director for Real Estate. Liz over there is commercial accounts. And Mr. Jordan here is our Community Event Specialist. And so we're here represented very well from CUA this morning. At your tables, you will see a nice gift from CUA. This is what we call a lap blanket. So it won't go from head to toe. It'll cover the lap and the toes. The toes get a little cold. And you know, it works pretty good for the fingers too. So not a great use for this, but we hope you guys enjoy this. But a lap blanket for everybody today. So thank you guys. That's my little spiel on CUA. One more thing I'll tell you is that we're currently asset size $1.5 billion as a credit union. That makes us the largest community chartered credit union in the state of Kansas. And so we're very proud of that, having started in early beginnings with just serving educators only. Educators at East High School started our credit union. We're proud of that history, and we go out of our way to continue to serve educators. But today we've grown so large, we do commercial lending, and we have commercial products. And so if you have any questions as to how we can help you, please run by this table and talk to anybody there. All right, so with that being said, it's another time for our State of the Community event. And I'm happy to see all of these wonderful people here. They will have great answers for you. Last year we did the long, fancy introductions. This year we're just going to keep it nice and brief because we know these good folks. And initially, each speaker will have 3 to 5 minutes to do an introductory presentation. And then after the 3 to 5 minutes, we'll start going into some prepared questions that were submitted. After that, we'll open it for you guys to ask some questions of our panelists here, and then we'll bring it to a close. But let's get the speakers started here, and we're going to start with our mayor. Mr. Mayor Ronnie Price just started his second term as mayor, having been re-elected in November last year. He's looking forward to leading the city for the next 4 years, and for his 3 to 5 minute presentation, Mayor Ronnie Price.
Thank you. So I just want to start with a few things that are going on in Andover that obviously you can see the heritage coming up out of the ground, but there's so much more than that that we're working on. The 400 corridor, which is a difficult and tedious process, and we're way out in front of it here in the city because of the city staff. We're working on backage roads, frontage roads, to when they come across 143rd, all that traffic's going to do a lot of negative impact on our 400 corridor, specifically Andover Road, Kellogg. So a lot more people will be traveling down 21st Street from Augusta. When they start that project, it's not good news. Andover Road and Kellogg will be at failing status. So that's one of the things we're doing ahead of time, is to try to get the backage roads in so that it will alleviate some of that chaos when it does come into our neighborhood. And our city's going in the right direction. We've got really good attention on us right now. People are saying, "What's up with Andover?" And it's a forward thinking of our city staff, the council members, which we have 3 new ones, and I'm excited to work with them. This is an exciting time for our city. It's going to be an exciting 4 years, and we'll be moving forward in a quick fashion. And working with everybody up here is a blessing to me. And one of the things I've really been working on, I'd like to see done in the next 4 years, is I would like El Dorado, Augusta, and Andover to work together in the means of industry, because it's good for all of us, and we're not the same. We're not the same cities. El Dorado can do some things we can't do. Augusta can do some things that we can't do. But if we all pull together, it's better for the whole county, because we are the biggest. There's the 3 cities for Butler County. So that's one thing I'm looking forward to in the next 3 years. And thank you all for having me here today.
Thank you, Mayor Price. Next, we'll move to our superintendent of schools. Superintendent Brett White has been superintendent for the Andover Public Schools since 2017, but has been with the district since 2001, having served in several functions, including principal. And now he is our superintendent, and at this time, he will have his presentation. Superintendent White.
Thanks, Brandon. It's my privilege to serve as superintendent of Andover Public Schools. Just a little snapshot about our district: approximately 5,600 students, about 410 teachers, over 620 staff members. We've got 6 elementary schools, 2 middle schools, 2 high schools, and our eAcademy virtual school, as well as the building you're in here, our Andover CAPS. I'm really honored to be part of this distinguished group. We're thinking back to kind of the evolution of this event, and it's just an honor to be among friends and colleagues here at the table. Will Johnson, during COVID, Butler County provided so much relief and help for our district to be able to reopen following the pandemic. Not every county allocated funds the same way, but that was essential for us as we reopened after the pandemic. And Butler County is always, or can count on to be reliable and very responsive to our needs. We have a long history and partnership with Butler Community College. Many of our students, my kids, probably many of your kids as well, took classes at Butler Community College. Some of our students actually go to the Butler Academies, and they graduate from Butler and from one of our high schools in the same weekend. So it's just been an incredible partnership with Butler, and just such a blessing to be able to have affordable, quality education for our students. And again, we're fortunate that hundreds of our students have have taken advantage of those opportunities. With Mayor Price, and Mayor Price is such a huge supporter of education, whether it's Butler, Andover. He loves education of every kind in our community. So his passion is really contagious and has been so supportive. Jenny McCausland, city manager, great trusted friend and partner, Chief Buchanan, Chief Russell, the city staff, city council, our school resource officers. As we think about security and safety in this day and age, never have our school resource officers been more important than now. Also for Bradley and Hannah and the Credit Union of America team, we just really thank them for their partnership. They sponsor our back to school kind of opening assembly. This year we had Jackie Stiles, one of the great, all-time greats in basketball history. So that was really through the generosity of Credit Union of America, just an incredible way to kick off the year for our staff. Also all of you, we hear every year the feedback from our new educators and the new educators at Butler. Really their first day on the job, it starts with the staff and community breakfast that's sponsored by the chamber. So thank you to Lori for organizing that, and that's really their first glimpse of here's what Andover is. It's just an incredible message for our new educators about this community. I'm also very fortunate to be able to work with an outstanding Board of Education, very passionate, dedicated volunteers. One of those is here with us today, Jill Hodge. Jill, if you kind of wave, and Jill is a longtime educator, fantastic board member, just highly respected throughout this community. So she's one of 7, and really appreciate them. I'll also have some of my colleagues. It's always great when you have colleagues who are better and smarter than I am. And so I have some of my colleagues here, Jill Lockemeyer, Assistant Superintendent for Academics, Jeremy Boulder, Assistant Superintendent for HR, Dara Underwood, who's our Communications Specialist, and somewhere around here is Terry Rombeck, our Director of Communications. There's Terry. So thank you for all that you do. Just want to talk briefly about, when you think about Andover Public Schools, we 5 years ago really started a community conversation, lasted about a year, and we developed our portrait of a graduate. So it's really, what are the skills and qualities and attributes? What do we want Andover Public School graduates to be able to do? One of those is academic preparation. Very important that our students leave academically prepared and ready. The second piece of that is the innovative thinking outside the box, thinking differently. Our future is going to require that. And so giving our students those skills to be able to think innovatively and differently. The collaboration and communication, I look at these organizations and these groups, I think we're really a model of that in Butler County, to be able to come together and work together through, in some cases, some challenging topics and situations, but that ability to work together, I think, is essential for our students as well. Integrity and character, again, we see the importance of that each and every day, and resilience. We were in this building after the April 29, 2022 tornado at Prairie Creek. So we came here with the Prairie Creek staff that following Monday, and just to come together and think about the impact that that's had on our community. Fortunately, we were able to open Prairie Creek then that fall, but the impact on our community, our students who've gone through COVID. So we've been through a lot as a community in the last 4 or 5 years, but I think we've really emerged stronger and better as a result. So really, when we think about that vision that we want all of our students to graduate with, a couple of things we're really focused on this year: reading, the importance of professional learning for our staff, so we provide high-quality reading instruction for our students, and reading is a skill, as we know, that's will be used every day of our students' lifetimes. The other one is really preparing them for life beyond high school and for post-secondary success. So that looks differently for each student, but giving them the opportunities to explore and really kind of a plan of here's what I want to potentially do after high school with my life. So again, thank you for being here, and I just thank all of you for the work that you do to make our community really exceptional. So thanks, brother.
Thank you, Superintendent White. And yeah, Jackie Styles was pretty cool. Having her here and inspirational. So, Dr. Kim Crow is the president at Butler Community College, and she has been the president since 2013. And Butler is an important institution for us because it's a popular destination for kids thinking about the next move in life. And so, at this time, Dr. Crow.
Thanks, Bradley. Thank you, everybody, for being here. As Brett and Ronnie have both indicated, it's really a privilege to be able to be part of this group and have this community conversation because it's all about elevating our students and their success and our workforce and the economic impact that we can all have in this area. So this is a great gathering of wonderful minds and ideas, and so thanks for being here and thanks for including Butler in this. Lori, thank you for sponsoring and having this, and Bradley, thank you to you and your team for sponsoring as well. You know, it's kind of hard to pick out some of the things to tell you, but we'll have a chance today, obviously, to do some of that. But just again, a little bit of an overview of Butler. We're coming up in a couple of years on our 100th anniversary, which is a significant milestone in this college's history, and we've impacted this area, obviously, for years and years and years. And have evidence of economic impact and graduate and alumni impact all over South Central Kansas especially. We still serve about 9,500 students, full-time and part-time. Largest portion of our students are part-time students. If you count all of our full-time and part-time employees and our student workers, we have about between 1,100 and 1,200 employees on an annual basis. We have about 400 probably student workers, which create huge support for our full-time and part-time staff. But I think lots of times people don't think about that impact of those students being able to work on campus and have those jobs, but it's really significant. Probably, you know, a large portion of our employee base live in Butler County, but we have a lot of commuters that come from the outlying and the surrounding counties as well. And you guys see the same thing, a lot of traffic that goes in and out. But I think there's a richness in that you know, brings different ideas and different community perspectives and all those kinds of things which help enrich our institution and help enrich learning for our students. We serve a Kansas Board of Regents designated 5-county service areas, so it's Butler, Chase, Greenwood, Morris, and Marion counties. And so we serve that 5-county area. We serve every high school in our service area. We offer classes at the discretion of the high schools to high school juniors and seniors. And as Brad indicated, have a huge success with our Early College Academy program that's been in place since 2010. I think since 2010 we've had more than 600 now students, high school seniors. I think that was the total count from commencement this past year, but more than 600 high school seniors that have finished their associate degree with Butler the same time they're finishing their high school diploma. And that's a unique model across the state. Nobody else across the state has an Early College Academy model the way that we do, and that has a significant impact. I think one of the things that we continue to focus on always as an institution is making sure that our doors are open to every student that comes to us, that they have access to the educational opportunities that they desire and that they need, that we're affordable, and that we prepare them for the workforce. And so there's a constant focus on what's it cost them to come to Butler, and how do we compare, you know, really with our regional partners, sometimes across the state, but it's really about what's happening in the region and how we keep those costs affordable for them. We're really proud that we have a fantastic foundation of strength. This year, the foundation is going to grant more than $900,000 in just foundation scholarships. The last number of years, they've been anywhere from $750,000 to up into the $800,000 range on an annual basis. In 2014-15, they were handing out and granting about $440,000. So we've doubled the foundation through the support of area donors, and folks that love Butler have increased that endowment to the point where we're giving almost $1 million in scholarships. That's outside of the scholarships that we grant as an institution. Our student fees help pay for institutional scholarships and activity scholarships for our students. in athletics and fine arts and things like that. And so there's additional scholarship dollars on top of that almost $1 million that the foundation grants, which is significant for our students. We know that our students come to us with a significant financial need. Butler ranks second in the number of federal dollars that come to our institution. And I think this coming, the last year, a year ago, when we were always in arrears when we put that report together, we were just short of $9 million, I think, that our Butler students were granted in Pell Grants. And so those Pell Grants go to the students that have the least ability to pay, that have the least ability for family support, and have the greatest financial needs. So that gives you an idea of where our students are and why those scholarships and that federal aid is so important. We've seen increased over the last few years, increased graduation rates and retention rates, so that we know that the work that we're doing is really, really good. We're a transfer institution. The bulk of our students transfer on, but boy, there's a push significantly for short-term, fast-track certificate programs to get people in and out of the workforce. And so for all of the institutions in Kansas, we're trying to make those transitions. A lot of people think that the technical colleges in Kansas are the ones that produce all the technical hours. But the community colleges in Kansas produce 70% of the technical training and the technical certificates in the state of Kansas. So we really are the ones that are putting out the bulk of folks that are going into the workforce in the technical areas. So there's a huge move to make those transitions, and Butler is part of that. I'll tell you, when we talk about some innovations for this past year, I'll tell you a little bit more about that. But there's always a focus on whether we're putting students into the workforce or whether we're transferring them on. Wichita State's our largest transfer institution, which makes sense because the bulk of our students come from this area and want to go back to Wichita State if they want to finish a bachelor's degree. They're our largest transfer institution, but we know from reports that the Board of Regents puts together that our students that start at Butler have higher grade point averages and transfer better than the native students at some of those institutions that start with those 4 institutions. And we're firm believers that that's because they have small class sizes, they know their instructors know whether they're coming to class or not, and if they're not, they're looking for them. They provide extra help. We've got credentialed faculty in the classrooms, in all of our high school classrooms and our college classrooms, and those little things make a difference when we're connecting students and helping them be successful. And so we know that the graduates that we're sending on are qualified and capable of excelling, whether they want to go into the workforce or whether they want to transfer on. So just a little bit of an overview about Butler, but again, this is about community. I know that there have been lots of conversations and probably still conversations continuing about the value that Butler brings to the area. Because the taxpayers in the 18 counties support the 19 community colleges. But we have some economic impact information that I think will help people understand that there is value in having Butler here. If you think about the opportunities for your students and your friends' students and things like that, there's a significant impact that Butler brings to this area, long-standing over the last 100 years. So thanks for the opportunity to be here, and thank you for being great partners with us.
There is value to Butler Community College, if I should say so. All right, Will Johnson is the Butler County Administrator. Will is a lifelong Butler County resident and has been the Butler County Administrator now for over 20 years. Lots of experience. Please welcome Will Johnson.
Well, thank you. Brett said it's a great pleasure to work with great leaders, and we've had great partnerships with the schools here, the college, and especially the city. And as Mayor said, this area is the driving force behind Butler County. There are no ifs, ands, and buts about that, and the schools are one of the largest draws to this area that keep our rooftops growing and our economy flowing. And you know, Kim's been through some tough times and takes a beating over the taxes, similar to what the county does, but the college is a great asset. It's a huge asset for our county. We're fortunate to have that. And it's a balance. It's a tough balance that Kim is tasked with. And how to budget and control taxes in our county, and she does a great job with that. So the main question people ask me and I talk about it is taxes. You know, county government is more of a subset of state government than anything else, and we're not very innovative as it comes to organizations like cities, counties, and schools. So we work very hard at making sure we control our operations and look at how we control our budget. We're proud that the assessed valuation in our county continues to grow. We're very fortunate in our county to have a growing economy. This year we passed $1 billion in assessed valuation, and everybody thinks, oh, that's just the county appraiser raising everybody's home prices. And no, that's only part of the equation. Annually, about 25 to 40% of our growth is through reassessment. Over 50% of our growth annually is through new construction, that being rooftops, commercial entities, or expansion of businesses. So, as I said, we're fortunate to continue seeing that. And as a result, the county's been able to control the taxes levied and our tax rate. For 13 years, the county has either kept the tax rate flat or reduced it. 13 years in a row. There's nobody else in the state of Kansas in a public organization that can say that. Nobody even close. In 2023, we were able to reduce the mill levy 3/4 of a mil, and this year it went down almost 2 mils. But you know, we had 15% assessed valuation growth as well. So difficult, and every one of our entities gave back. The college did, the cities. I won't knock on Brett here, but the school districts are the only one. They're controlled by the state of Kansas, and our legislators are the only ones that exempt themselves from revenue reduction rates and tax rate reductions. The counties and the cities are pushing real hard this year for reinstatement of a program called LABTR. That's the Local Ad Valorem Tax Reduction Act that was put in place by our legislators back in 1965. Very smart group of people. They seen the need to utilize some of the sales tax dollars they're generating to offset property taxes, and pass those dollars on to school or to cities and counties, along with what was called city-county revenue sharing. In 2003, we went through a downturn, and the state legislature pulled those funds, and have pulled those funds every year since, even though they're statutorily required to do that. In Butler County, just our county government alone, the amount of money that we are owed this year is about $2.2 million. That's about a 10% reduction in tax rates that we can give back to our citizens. So the Kansas Association of Counties, the League of Municipalities are pushing hard to get this reinstated. Butler County's taking a little bit of a different approach. We do not want the dollars back locally. We want the state to utilize those dollars to reduce the 20 mills that goes to the school districts, or actually the 21.5 mills. Put those local ad valorem dollars to reducing that rate, because the state exempts themselves from the R&R, what's called the R&R rate program. So utilize those dollars there. The one thing that does is holds the state legislature accountable, because we know through history in the last 10 years, every dollar that they've given to us through program reduction, they have eliminated within 2 to 3 years. So if we were to take the money from this program, we'd probably reserve it and set it aside, because we knew it was going to go away in a couple of years. So by putting it towards the 20 mills, we can reduce property taxes statewide, and hopefully continue a program that's been funded, but dollars redirected by our state legislature. And it's important that we hold them accountable as well, because they sure want to push on us about accountability at the local level for property taxes. So that's one of our major endeavors this year that we're pushing on. A lot of other things going on in our county, a lot of projects. We'll get into those with some of the questions and answers. But that's one topic I want to touch on and talk about. So the other question that comes up is the assessed valuation and assessed valuation growth on homes and commercial properties looking like for this year. It has slowed, thankfully. We had 2 incredibly hot years, but there is still a big demand for rural housing, and people are still paying premiums out there for rural houses. Any of those you that are realtors know that even with increasing interest rates, we're still seeing prices boom there. We expect probably home values to stabilize under 4% this year. Some of that's carryover. I don't think we'll see it regress. We've never seen that in history of our state, our nation, or in Kansas, I should say. Home values decrease. So I would expect probably in the near future, the next few years, we'll be down in that probably 2 to 5% range, which is pretty stable and, for Kansas. So probably not the news you want to hear. It's never flat, but it is decreased quite a bit from where it's been the last couple of years.
Thank you, County Administrator. And finally, we have our Andover Area Chamber of Commerce President and CEO, Lori Collin. Lori came to the Chamber in June of 2022, not very long ago, but already making big waves and making a big impact on the Andover community. Her background is in nonprofit operations, business, and fundraising. At this time, Lori.
Thank you, Bradley. As you read that, I remember last year saying I've only been here since June of 2022, and I still try and pretend I'm new some days because I'm learning there's a lot I still don't know. But that being said, over this last year, the support that has come from our membership, from these individuals sitting up here, all I can say is thank you, and that's not enough. Because of our membership, because of these partnerships, the Andover Chamber is growing. The Andover Chamber is succeeding. We welcomed over 25 new members last year in 2023, which remained constant from 2022. So it is great that we're still continuing to go up. We hosted over 40 events. When I say we, it's not just me. I have an amazing board of directors that supports me. If you are one of our board members, if you raise your hand, please. We also have an amazing group of chamber ambassadors who dedicate their time to making sure the chamber is successful. If you're a chamber ambassador, would you raise your hand, please? Let's hear it for all of these people that help to make the chamber. We have grown, we've changed. Our board ended out 2024 with an amazing retreat. As you'll even see on your summary of what happened in the last year that's there in your folder, we modified the mission of the chamber. We modified it just to make it a little bit more simple and understandable to anybody. So the Andover Area Chamber of Commerce mission is to elevate the business community. And that's exactly what we're here for. We're here to present opportunities to our local businesses, to partner with our cities, with our schools, with our county, and be the voice of business alongside everybody. So I just want to thank all of you for being here today, and we can move on to the panel questions.
Thank you, Lori. So as she indicated, we will now move on to the panel questions. And as I stated before, these first questions were previously submitted. And so I'll go through those, but we will hopefully have some time where we will get some questions from you as well. Some of these questions are for specific persons, and some of the questions are for all the panelists. And so I will indicate which is which. But let's start off with a question for all of the panelists. And the first question is, what would you consider to be your biggest focus for 2024?
Since I have the mic, I'll start. I would say my biggest focus in 2024 is just continuing to grow relationships. That's what the chamber is founded around, is relationship. And so doing even more, meeting with members, getting to know individuals, and really seeing what each member's needs are so that the chamber can continue to grow and form and shape around what their needs are.
One of mine is, and this part of Butler County Community College worked with us, get the the road from 13th Street to Yorktown Parkway to City Hall, so that the youngsters and the staff and people can enjoy what we have at the Heritage. So it will put the flow of traffic into the city, which is my three favorite words are sales tax revenue. And so we lose a lot of it on 13th Street. This reality is, I say this all the time, there's two ways to get taxes: property tax, sales tax. So sales tax is what I wake up in the morning thinking about and what I go to bed thinking about. So that's one to have that groundbreaking starting very soon. And prior to me being mayor, they had worked the arrangement out to have the college handing up a lot of money for that. And we had to go back since, because obviously price has gone up. And Lance and Jenny quarterbacked that, and Dr. Kroll. And it was heavy lifting, but they got it done. So I'm very appreciative about what it's done for our city. It will bring us, move our city forward 15, 20 years just by the flow of traffic. 2024, I'm anxious to see the Heritage get done and what they're doing. The Backus Road on the north end of town will be done soon. And so there's a lot of things that are going on. The 13th Street Park, the completion of that will be amazing for our city. And a lot of people had to say in that, the citizens had to say in that, city staff, we have a park advisory board, and when it's done, it will, that park is not only for Andover, it will benefit Benton, Rose Hill, Augusta, and other folks that need recreational ball, going from 3 ball diamonds to 5 ball diamonds, splash pad, park, and as most of you know, I'm very, ADA is kind of my wheelhouse. If everybody can't participate, then I don't want anybody to. So that's important. We finished the firehouse, and the second one's being remodeled. So that's just a small part of what's coming for Andover in 2024.
Thanks. You know, I think that from a higher ed perspective, all of us are worried about enrollment. We've at Butler continued to see some decreases in enrollment. We have pockets. Our high school enrollment's up, online's up. You know, so we have pockets of enrollment, but overall we're down, and I think that that's pretty typical of higher ed institutions. And so we're worried about that. And part of that is because the college going rate is decreasing. There are fewer students coming to college. Well, you know, is it because of debt? Yeah. Is it because of the time away from work when they can go to work and they can have good, you know, good incomes? Is it, you know, family commitments, commuting, all those kinds of things? So those are a focus that that Butler has right now. And I think that there's just continuing conversations about how do we create access for students. We've put together some high-flex classrooms so that they can be present in person or they connect by Zoom. We learned that from COVID. Short-term certificates, fast-track training, all of those kinds of things that will help them come to us, upskill, get increased training, go to work or stay at work. We have, this year from the state, there were I think more than $14 million allocated for apprenticeship, registered apprenticeship, business and industry partnerships. Butler ended up with about just over $1.4 million of that. And those apprenticeship funds have helped us connect with our business and industry partners, and we'll do more of that as well. But how can we give those workers that already have jobs, that are already, you know, working for businesses, how can we give them college credit for the work that they're doing, because they're learning on the job, and create that and turn that into associate's degrees or additional certificates that help elevate them in their own places of work or, you know, in their careers if they want to move on. So, you know, enrollment's a big focus for us, and you know, what goes along with that is how we create access and affordability and opportunity for the students that come to us.
I mentioned the focus on reading and post-secondary success skills. Really the most important thing what we do each and every day is keep our 5,600 students and all our staff members safe. So the investment and commitment to safety, I think, is ongoing. We have with bond projects, secured entrances, and really redesigned how visitors come to the building. We just actually implemented in December visitor management program where it checks to make sure that visitors to our building aren't registered sex offenders and that type of thing. Video cameras, vape detectors, just that ongoing commitment to safety is really essential. And as we think about going to school in 2024, it's very different than when we were in school. And so I think just that'll be an ongoing commitment and investment in the safety of our staff and students.
Well, in the county, my main focus this year is going to be succession planning. We're a very old organization when it comes to some of our key leadership. We just recently had the retirement of our community development director, David Alfaro. Daryl Luce, who's been with the county for over 35 years as our county engineer and public works director, has announced his retirement for April 1st. Had 3 other key department heads. Our GIS director is eligible this year. So is our health department director and myself. So we're going to see some changes coming with the county. I'm not planning on going anywhere anytime soon, but I need to make sure that there's a successor in place or ready to step in. We just got a lot of cleanup to do, and as well with some of the changes that we've had with staffing. But a big project that you'll be hearing about in the future is the Butler County multi-purpose expo facility and arena that's been pushed by a group of people locally for several years. It's finally gaining some steam. We're working with working with a fundraising consultant, Swanson group out of Emporium, to look at ways we can raise and allocate money for this project. It's about a $30 million project that will replace the fairgrounds, and honestly, it's not about the county fair. It's a bigger venture than that. When we were looking at facilities, we happened to go down to El Reno, Oklahoma, and discovered a gym and a facility that pays for its operations and pays its way. And Kansas is lacking facilities such as this, especially with the closing of the Britt Brown Arena in Wichita and the NIAR's facility, the old the old Coliseum, lost words. So there's an opportunity here that we can bring people to Butler County and have a destination-based facility. The county commission's allocated some funding to go along with this, if we can match it with private funding and then go to the citizens for a vote for sales tax. So really looking forward to what the future is and with this project, and excited to see where this goes.
Thank you. This next question is specifically for Superintendent White and Dr. Crow. You know, thinking about the last few years in education, it appears as though there's so many challenges and so many headwinds. I think this person wants to find out something different. They want to know what is a point of celebration that your organization had experienced this past year?
I'd say first, from the perspective of most of our 5,600 students, we've successfully delivered 2 snow days or cold weather days. The one that I was less popular with was the miss on I think it was the Friday before the Tuesday. But thank you to Jenny McCausland, who did send one of the handful of emails supporting that decision. There were more that didn't. So hopefully we've now checked that off the list, and we can say we've had our snow days. But I would say lots of things. When we think about like implementing an orchestra program, the building we're in, the CAPS building, we started in an old strip mall next to Dairy Queen. There'll be over 200 students this year that get those applied learning, real life experiences, internships, and getting out and meeting with business partners and really figuring out either what they may want to do with the rest of their lives or what they thought they wanted to do, but then have since discovered that's not what they want to do, which is equally as important and valuable there. So I think about the experiences that our CAP students have here, just one of many examples of trying to make education relevant, meaningful, and just to be impactful in what we do for students day to day, as well as as they think about their future.
I'm so glad that I don't have to make those calls on snow days or ice days. I did that when I was at Cloud County Community College, and Bill Rinkenbaugh does it for us, our Vice President of Student Services. And so he checks with me the night before, he calls me at 4 o'clock in the morning or whatever, just for my opinion, but I don't get those emails, usually he gets them, so thank heavens. I know how hard that is though. And for us, lots of times it's, what are the area schools doing? You know, because if the area schools are all closed, then our folks don't have childcare, or, you know, or same way, their kids are at home. So anyway, it's a group effort to decide sometimes. I think, you know, it's really hard to pick out one point of celebration for an organization, for all of us, as large as we are. But I think one thing that points to Butler's strength and Butler's focus on excellence and integrity and all of the kinds of things that we believe in and we live day in and day out. We had our accreditation site visit in April of 2023. And the site team that was here, those individuals come from institutions from across the nation. And they're experienced administrators and peer reviewers for the Higher Learning Commission. That's our regional accrediting body. And they found that Butler, in all the areas that administrators, teachers, faculty, and staff could control, so everything in teaching and assessment of teaching, everything in accountability and strategic planning and budgeting and finance, all of those things were outstanding. Few little things that we have to tweak, but nothing significant. The only area where we had a concern was the area of governance. And that's not something that our staff can control. That's a governance issue. That's what our board has to take care of. And so the board's working on that. We have a report that has to be submitted at the end of March about how those concerns from the site team will be addressed. But a 10-year reaffirmation of our accreditation is a big, big deal. And that should hopefully tell the folks that we work with and the folks across the state that we're an institution of excellence and that we focus on doing what we say that we're doing, and it's validated by folks that come in from the outside that are experienced from other institutions and that know and are saying, yeah, Butler's a leading institution, so we're really, really proud of that.
Can I? Sure. Thank you.
Please do.
Kim would not say this, but I will. They now have forward-thinking, professional, open-minded folks that got elected to the Butler County trustees that are interested in moving Butler County further and not shrinking it. And so they've mentioned it. I will stand on the wall. I will stand on the wall, pardon me. I will stand on the wall for Butler Community College and our school systems and the Heartland Welding Academy. Anything to our kids get a chance to identify their gift, and that's my soapbox. But that's a point of celebration as we finally have people that are open-minded, professional people that know how to. And by the way, the community college mill levy has gone down, and so they do what they can. So here in Andover we're doing it, but the community college is doing it. You can grow without raising taxes. And so I just got to say that the trustees that they got now are going to help make the Butler Community College much better because they actually want to grow it and they're very responsible at the same time. I'm sorry.
That's fine. And since you spoke about the trustee election, I'll just go back to Dr. Crowley here because someone asked a question about that specifically, and they were asking how will the outcome of the Butler trustee election affect how the board works?
I think Ronnie kind of gave a great segue into that. Any community college board of trustees really has to have, first of all, a focus on students and student success. That's the reason that they're there. It should be anyway. That's the mission of our college, is to change our students' lives and contribute to the vitality of the communities. And so you want trustees that believe in that. And I think some of the changes that have happened through the election will elevate that again to a point where that becomes a stronger focus maybe. We, obviously have some work to do. It's always, whenever you have a change in boards, you have to go back and kind of regroup a little bit and do board training and orientation and helping all of them coalesce around common vision and understanding roles and responsibilities of governance. Their role is to provide oversight for budget, for governance, for policy and procedure, but they're supposed to let the administrators do the day-to-day operations. Those are the experts, at the community college level. And so I think it was very fun. We did orientation for Dr. Hueslick the first week of January, and it was really fun to spend the day with him and have administrators in front of him, and to have him say in the afternoon, just without really any prompting, boy, I just hear this over and over, this focus on students and student success and the employees understanding why they come to work every day and valuing that work and really, believing in this institution. And it was just really delightful to have that perspective already, from somebody that hasn't even, been officially sworn into the board yet. So I think it's always, there's change is always important. Different viewpoints and perspectives and experiences make us better. And so it's not about having everybody believe the same thing and everybody always being positive and everybody rubber stamping stuff. That's not what it is at all, but it's about a group of individuals that care, first of all, about the mission of the college and our students. That's why we come to work every single day, and working together to make sure that we move the institution forward. And so we're excited about what this looks like for us.
Thank you, Dr. Crow.
Sure.
I'm going to jump here to Lori. Your organization is responsible for this fantastic turnout here today. And someone asked a question that I think is reflective of a lot of people who want to know, what new things will the chamber be heading into this year?
Well, as I said, we finished out 2023 with our full-day chamber retreat with 14 of our 15 board members in the room. And it was an exciting day to really explore where we've been and where we want to go. With that, of course, came the change in the mission. But we also looked at where are our priorities? What are we conveying? And we realized, the biggest thing we've tried to do in 2023 was to show our members where we bring the value. What value are we bringing forward to you, and how can you see that? So we actually even changed a little bit of that. You'll see it on the back of your sheet as well. But we strive to deliver value to our members by informing you of headwinds and happenings, providing opportunities for you to connect and gain valuable relationships, celebrating your success, and then being in the room where it happens. And if it's not happening anywhere, maybe we're going to make it happen so that we can all be in the room. But we find that I'm excited in 2024 because those are important. Those are all things that our members need. If you've noticed the change in our newsletter this year, there's actually a section called Headwinds. And the purpose in that is so that we can be the voice. We can tell you what's going on with the Kellogg construction. Maybe we can share with you how your customer can best get around that construction that's in the way of your building so that you can communicate with them. In different projects that, maybe we're partnering with the county, with the city, with the schools. What does that look like, and how might it affect you?
Lori, this question says, will there be a one-stop shop for information regarding the Kellogg construction? They are asking this because it says this will have a huge impact on every resident and entity in our area.
So I'm going to go ahead and lead with this. There is a eastkellogg.kdot.gov website that is a good place to go. But we will stay in front of it because we have a great public information officer, Megan, sitting back there. Go to andoverks.com and we'll keep it on there. And I'm sharing the responsibilities of putting messages in the utility bill this month, but we will keep up through that as well. And again, it's eastkellogg.kdot.gov. There's an ad in there somewhere.
And with that being said, you know, as far as the chamber's perspective on that, Megan and I have a great relationship as well. And her and I have talked about anything that she gets that our members need to know about, we'll receive in advance, so it can be in our newsletter. So we can be getting it out, you know, maybe prior to when it's in the Facebook post, or you're not seeing it because we all know our lives are busy.
I can make this really easy because we're going to redirect people to the Andover site. And honestly, Andover's lead, we don't want to duplicate anything or screw it up, honestly. So what we will do is when those questions are asked from our social media sites, we'll support Andover's lead on this. And similar to what we did with the tornado. I mean, we're there as a partner, but we're not the lead. The community's not going to come looking to El Rey to the county for information. They want to look at it from the city standpoint, and that's what they're going to go first and foremost. And we're going to get them there. So
you,
that's how we'll handle it.
you can hold my county administrator. Oh, we're gonna have something?
I just was going to
Oh,
add
okay.
a point to that. As, you know, as somebody that doesn't live in Andover, but comes on occasion, I love in the city offices, the visual, you know, the posters and stuff like that. And so I'm guessing that stuff will be on the website maybe too, but that helps, you know, somebody like me that wants to see, you know, like what the whole thing kind of looks like, so. Anyway.
And one thing I started doing already, when you're coming home from Wichita, a lot of us do, right? I get off at 127th because I don't want to have an accident at 143rd, which I did have about 2 years ago. And so you can get off at 127th if you're going to the north part of town and come down Central. It's just easier, and it's just less stress, and it's all about me. So that, again, so again, on the baggage roads, their intention were not to be safety corridors, but they're going to turn into safety corridors while this work's being done. So that's why I'm trying to get one on the south side of town as well. The 400 will come across 159th, 1/8 of a mile, and they're going to do a baggage road on the south, 1/8 of a mile, and we'll have frontage roads on the north. So I'm working diligently along with city staff and anybody I can get to listen about starting our end and work that way before they get here, because it'd just be safer for Jennifer lives on the south end of town, and if you're going to Dillon's coming home from Wichita, it'd be much easier. So there's things we're doing to try to alleviate the catastrophe that could happen at Andover Road, because we will be the first stoplight from, I believe, 109th Street, 119th Street out west. So we've all seen the traffic backed up for a mile and a half. It's going to get worse before it gets better, but it's part of progress.
You can hold Mike. This one is for you and county administrator, talking about impact, things that will impact the community. This question says, what are there other upcoming projects in the near term that will also create impact for the community that we need to know about?
I have to think about it. That's the worst. That's the worst part of it, and it keeps me awake at night. There'll be some road work done. The Turnpike Bridge will eventually, on the Prairie Creek Road, is up and coming relatively soon, I hope, because it's at failing status a long time ago. And that keeps our fire chief, Russell, awake at night, waiting for something to go through. So that will be one. There'll be work done on, help me out, Yorktown Parkway. So there's things like that, but again, we'll keep you informed via the AndoverKS.com and the messages in the utility bill.
We don't have any specific projects in the area scheduled for early 2024. The next project we have in the area will be some improvements on Butler Road South, actually coming out of Rose Hill. We've got some federal funding for improvements there to the bridge just north of 150, I believe that is. And we'll continue working with the expansion of Butler Road as we try to meet in the middle at some point in time with the work Andover's doing. But the earliest that project now south would kick off would be 2025.
Okay. We're going to open it up here, but one other quick question for the mayor before we open it up. Someone wants to know, I don't know if you actually own one of these, but they said to look into your mayoral crystal ball and to predict where you see Andover in the next 4 years.
All right, I don't do crystal balls, but I'll tell you some things that are, I will keep my foot on the throttle to get done. Red Bud Trail to Augusta, I'm working with Augusta, Jenny works with Augusta all the time. That will get done. North End Development, which a good friend of mine's building a eatery, and I'm not gonna mess it up, but it will be at the bicycle path, and it will be for outdoor enthusiasts, and that will be coming very soon. Phase 2, they don't know this yet, but Phase 2, Everidge is building an expansion right now, and hopefully they'll be doing Phase 2 to bring more employees into town. My Backage Road, I'll keep pushing that. Andover corridor for economic development. I will get a grocery store on the north end of town. I've been saying it for 4 years. I've got close a couple times. It walks away from me. So I have to take a different approach. We need dearly to start a sewer line up 400 for economic development before it turns into a mess. We already got things going in there that I just do not, but it's not in our jurisdiction yet. So if we can start a sewer line, we can do more development out on 400, and also sales tax revenue, and I push very hard to keep, and so does city staff, by the way. Phase 2 of 400 corridor is very important to us. 1, for safety. 2, it's just it's going to need to be done to attract business on that end of town. We're working diligently to get a hotel because we have the Farhall Center and the Holiday Inn's packed all the time. So a hotel on the south end of town is paramount. And so I've got a lot of things, but they're not crystal balls. There's things I will get done. Logistic Park at the Turnpike, which is not real popular, but we're doing the best we can. It'd be, if I have my druthers, shipping, receiving trucks in and out, have little to no impact on the citizens of Andover. It will keep semis off of Andover Road and work with our neighbors. We have, much to my displeasure, a couple industries here are actually renting places in Park City, and that bothers me because they should be here where they live. Man, I could go on forever. Hopefully, we will be able to get from 21st Street, the Prairie Creek Road, to Heritage Square, Dillon's, without getting on Andover Road. So, and some folks say it's going to hurt business on Andover Road, and it's not. It's actually going to alleviate traffic. So, folks, they know where they're going. I mean, I know where tutoring scene is and music scene is, and which, by the way, I should have mentioned them earlier. I'm sorry I didn't. They do a lot for our young people in our community. They're both rock stars, and that's a part of the education of our city. So, am I running out of time? She's not pulling it yet. And I could go on forever, but the north end of town I've been laser focused on. In fact, I ran on getting that done because we lose sales tax, everybody said, sales tax revenue at Andover Road, 21st Street.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Clearly, the next 4 years you're going to be a pretty busy man. So. But I think this is a good time now to turn it over to questions from the audience for our panelists. Yes.
Question for the mayor. If by any chance, in any time in the future, you could be spending some resources towards arts and culture of Andover?
I would like to see anything that helps kids identify their gift. I'm for it. I don't care what it is. If it helps them identify, for example, I'll tell you a story. There's a young lady that used to work at Scooters, and so I was 57 years old before I realized what my gift was. I didn't know yapping was a gift, but apparently it is. The young lady working at Scooter's Coffee House, and I said to her, "What do you want to do when you grow up?" And she looked at me like, "Man, you're kind of a," because she's 18. And I said, no. At the time, I think I was 55. I said, "I'm 55 and I don't know yet." So she said, "Well, I like doing this." I said, "Well, then do this. Do the best you can at doing it." So now she manages all of Dr. Doe's scooters. And she's large and in charge, and she's happy with what she's doing. It ain't about making money. There's a lot of millionaires that are miserable. I work with a lot of people that make $100,000 a year that are miserable. That's why I walked away from a 30-year career in aircraft, because I wanted to find out what my gift was, what my talent was. So, does that answer your question?
Sort of. So my name is Tatiana. I organize events at the Andover Public Library, and my background is in art. So I'm trying to bring in some more programming resources for the community, arts, music, theater. There's nothing upset music scene as far as I can tell. I'm newer to the area, so don't judge me if there's more to that. But I want to bring more, and I'm hoping that.
Reach out to me, we'll figure it out.
But I think there's also a really great opportunity for partnership. The college has resources through the foundation. We have folks that could help promote that, create space if we needed to. But that's a great opportunity for a community partnership between the city, the school district, and the college. So let's continue that conversation, because there's all kinds of opportunities, I think, to do that.
Great question.
We also have so this gentleman's, Arthur Eldridge, started a STEM center in here in Andover, and he had it almost ready to step across the line, and he had an unfortunate, passed unfortunately early. And that's another thing that I've been working on with Mr. Kaplan that owns Andover Square. Through McConnell, I've talked to them, a lady I gave a tour around town today about. I'm always shaking hands trying to figure out how we can make that survive, because it's free to the children and it's NASA sponsored. So it's something I push hard at. I'm about educating any way anyone can enjoy their life more, or it doesn't matter to me.
Close to the end here.
It doesn't matter to me, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Anything I can do to help you reach out, we'll have a coffee or something.
Okay.
Close to the end here, but let's see if we can get a couple more in. I have one right here.
So this is my first time being in this facility, and it is so impressive. Can somebody just for a few minutes kind of explain some of the programs that are going on here?
Yeah, we have juniors and seniors at both of our high schools have the opportunity to take CAPS. It's really 3 periods, so it's essentially just about half their school day. We have medical strand, engineering, business entrepreneurship, and CAPS Create for those who are maybe just more kind of still thinking about what they want to do with their future. So they really come here, and the first part of the semester is really just learning about kind of the employability skills, the boot camp, so to speak, and then they're really engaged in hands-on, real-life partnership activities with business partners from Andover, Butler County, Wichita. So they go and they explore, whether it's if they're medical, maybe that's going to a veterinarian. We've had financial services where they've gone and they've shadowed and interned with some of those organizations. The medical, whether it's Kansas Medical Center, the local hospitals, doctor's office, they're really just kind of connected with business partners and community partners, and then they're able to explore those career interests. So every semester they do kind of a showcase night. They have a couple. Those would be the first part of May. That may be something that we can even get out through the chamber newsletter there. So they come and they just share about their experiences. So a variety of experiences really based on what their loves and passions are. And at the end, they think, hey, I may have started off really thinking I wanted to go into this field. In some cases, that's really affirmed. In other cases, it's, but then this happened and I pivoted, and really it's, now I've kind of gone this direction. So it's a chance for them just to get some great experiences. If you want to stick around afterwards, we could do, for any who do, kind of just a short tour and learn more about that. So love to do that. We'll see if our director, Brian Gregory, is available. So we really kind of tailored this from the Blue Valley School District up in Johnson County, has a CAPS program. They've provided just tremendous support, and there's these CAPS networks throughout the world now. And so we modeled after that. They've been a great partner and resource, and it's really just building that to meet the needs of our students.
That's awesome. And thank you for asking that question, because I agree with you that this is an impressive edifice, and I'm glad Superintendent had an opportunity to speak to what happens here. Maybe just one last question before we wrap up, if there is one.
I have one, if no one else does. This is for Dr. Kroll. Part of what I do at the credit union is construction lending, and I know that you guys have a wonderful construction program at Butler. How is that going for you? Do you have good enrollment in that, and the graduation, and are they going on and to work in the construction field?
Thanks for your question. We have a lot of industry support and a lot of industry enthusiasm. We've had trouble attracting students.
Oh.
Our best enrollment, though, is at the El Dorado Correctional Facility. We have a really, really strong program out there, and again, industry support for those folks. They qualify for that program through a variety of different kind of measures. We'll have, Heather, 11 graduates this spring, I think, in construction technology? 11?
It's changed a little bit,
Yeah.
shuffle in.
Yeah, 11 or 12 men that'll be graduating, and we 2 years ago qualified for what's called was at that point in time called Second Chance Pell, which allowed folks that are incarcerated to have access to federal financial aid if they, for certain, if they hadn't committed certain offenses and if they were a certain time away from release. So there were some qualifying kinds of things. It's called PEP now.
Prison education.
Yeah, I should know that. Prison education makes sense. But anyway, we've seen really significant interest out there, but significant interest in our, in our industry partners too, with these folks. Continuing to recruit, continuing to work hard, and again, like I talked about a little bit ago with the apprenticeships, trying to figure out ways for folks that are already working, incumbent workers, to gain credit for prior learning for their on-the-job training, and still advance them through certificates and associate degrees. We follow a national curriculum, and so it's just about continuing to create partnerships. They're high-paying jobs. And they're jobs that are in demand, so it's hard to attract people away from that industry to come to school. So how do you partner work and work experience with education? So we're finding pathways to do that.
Great.
So thanks for your question.
No, thank you.
If you know any young high school age students, everybody needs folks building that pipeline. So we're continuing to work to recruit high school students as well, and younger adults.
Thank you, Dr. Kroll, and thank you for all of you for coming here today. I think this brings us to the end of our 2024 State of the Community function. I want to say Credit Union of America was really pleased to be your presenting sponsor again this year. Thank you for having us. And again, if you need us for anything, speak to any of the people at this table. At this time, I'm going to turn it back over to our Chamber President for closing remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Bradley, and thank you again, Credit Union of America. I'd also like to thank our signature sponsor, Kansas Gas, and all of our table sponsors as well. Without sponsors, it's hard to make events like this happen. Earlier, I recognized our board members, our ambassadors. If you're looking in any way to get more involved with the Chamber, know what the Chamber how they can partner with you, what opportunities we have, I encourage you to get connected. Speak to one of those people. They are a great resource. And of course, I am always here to speak with you as well. It's been my pleasure to spend this hour with you, hour and a half, I guess. If If you have any further questions for these individuals, I'm sure they will stick around. They will be happy to answer them. But thank you for spending your lunch with us and for being here today. Have a great afternoon.